Hey everybody, Jamie here. So yeah, I 2 weeks ago I actually received my Samsung Z Flip 4. But before I get to this thing, and it has a case on it if you noticed, before I get to this thing, story time. Okay, so I used to work at a big wireless company back in the day. Um, this was like right after I graduated college. I literally graduated college, and I moved to New York. I actually this place was my first job. Prior to then, I actually had a phone when I was in college, and it was a flip phone. It was actually a StarTac. If you guys remember what a StarTac is, it's this thing. I loved this thing when I had it. It was basically just a flip. It was from a company called Singular. If you guys remember Singular, Singular turned into got bought out. Singular bought AT&T Wireless, and then AT&T Landline bought Singular Wireless. So it ended up becoming AT&T. That's why you never hear Singular anymore. This was my go-to. I loved it. I used to have two batteries, sometimes three. They had different versions of this. They had a colorful one. They had a light gray one. I had the basic black because, you know. But this thing was always in my book bag or on my hip or wherever. And if I didn't want to have the clip for the hip, if I was going out on the weekend, it would just slide into my pocket. And so that was pretty much that. When I ended up getting to the company I worked at, the big cellular company, I won't say no names just because you never know. Um, they had a boom of different phones, and I had tons of phones. But my first one when I got there was the Razr phone. And believe me when I tell you, I've had many iterations of different phones, and I still got a good amount of them. A lot of them are from that particular company. Um, uh, but basically, this was the go-to. This was beautiful. It was perfect. It was small. It fit right in the pocket. It had 250 function points, from calendar to taking a picture if you wanted to, which wasn't that great. But neither here nor there. You know, you really couldn't go wrong with this thing. You know, it didn't have this one also, oddly enough, did not have a jack for wireless communications. So it's like full circle, isn't it? Um, yeah. So, well, that being said, I ended up, years later, different. I'm in a different field, obviously. Not obviously, but I'm actually not in the telecommunications field anymore. Nothing wrong with the telecommunications field. It was great while it lasted. It was it just it was what it was. That was that. Uh, I ended up getting the Razr phone about a year and a half ago, and this thing was a game changer for me. I do use iPhone, but I have two lines. One is personal, one is business, and I always kept it that way, just for good measure. Just because I want the clients to be on the client side. They have one number. My friends and my family have another number. That's now I just forward the phone calls if I'm going out, and that's pretty much that. This was good, but there are some buts. It wasn't that it was big or anything like that. It really wasn't that bad. I have a case on this too. I prefer having cases on these types of phones just because this was not only just a smudge magnet, but if I drop this thing, it's over. If it hits concrete, it's done. Game over. Battery life was not that great. The functionality was good. I know they're coming out with a new iteration. I was not, neither. I was in. I'm not want to say. I don't want to say indifferent. I just knew that, there was something better. I know that the Z Flip 3 was out. I know physically it was the same. It's the same phone as the Z Flip 4. But a few things kind of, mattered to me was, again, the battery life, because what's the point of going from something like this that has a so-so battery life to another device that has also a so-so battery life? Didn't make sense. But no, when I actually got this the week and a half ago, 2 weeks, I got it before the actual launch date, and so I actually got to play with it. I did a video about it. Got a couple of you guys saw it. I love this thing. It actually does what it's supposed to do. It's great. I was able to transfer everything over. Funny story, I can tell you that I used to work for Samsung. That I can say. I'm comfortable saying. I did digital marketing for them. It was a different time. It was 2016, 2015, 2016, 2017. And if you guys remember 2016, 2017, that's when that Note 7 launched and then unlaunched. And that was a whole, trust me when I tell you, stressful times, just stressful times. But this thing is it's beautiful. I really do like it. It's becoming my daily driver. I'm actually thinking about switching over, and even though I have the Apple Watch and the AirPods Pro and all this other stuff, just because life takes over, it's easier to do FaceTime. It's easier, and literally that's pretty much really it for me, because the rest of my family has iPhone, so FaceTiming is way easier. That's a big selling point. It shouldn't be, but it kind of is. They think the camera is a big selling point, but literally, once you're in that ecosphere, that's usually the big selling point for a lot of people. So I know they just started talking about launching the iPhone 14 and the new Apple Watch, which is like $800, and which the rugged one. They have they have all this other stuff, which is great. I'm not knocking them. They do what they do. But the truth is that everyone knows, and it's not a secret, is that Samsung does it first. And they're willing to go out and actually put their neck on the line and actually, and actually try something that's gonna work. They did it with the big phone, with the Notes, with the Note devices. They did it with smaller phones, and all of a sudden, Apple was realizing, oh, we should diversify and we should start doing this. And now they're doing now Samsung's doing foldables, and everybody's like, yeah, well, when are you gonna do that? I mean, widgets shouldn't be a big thing in 2022. But when Apple's like, oh, well, we're going to be, working on widgets and make this interface and do this and do that. And I'm just like, guys, I mean, the Android, I came from an Android background first. And so Android devices were not scary to me. The fact that you can actually add in different launchers and actually control what it looks like internally. But externally, that to me is just as important. But the fact that, this is literally half the size and it fits into the pocket. I did get my free case. It wasn't directly from Samsung. I went through my carrier, and what happened was they gave me different options. I went with an OtterBox case. So this OtterBox case is amazing. I really do like it. Because I felt really naked without it. It doesn't put that much bulk into it. It actually makes it feel complete. It's very simple. It's the only place you're gonna see OtterBox is gonna be right there on the side, but everything else is it's perfect. I would highly suggest this one. I know OtterBox has a few different versions of this one. I can put it at the description of the one I have, because this is what works best for me. I can say that. I should say that first. But I'm gonna tell people always look for your options. But the evolution of the flip phone has gone from this. I mean, well, actually, that's a lie. It's gone to that. It's come from this. Come from these guys. I don't even think this thing will power on. I'd be amazed. No, it's not gonna power on. And this thing I know hasn't powered on because I don't even have the charger for this thing. And it was just all green, by the way. But neither here nor there. This is out with the old, and in with the new. This is not the new Razr. This is the previous years. I'm gonna say that go with the new one, better battery. Go with the one that has better battery. Battery is going to make a big difference. Cameras and all that other stuff, yeah, great. But literally, battery life is a must nowadays, especially if you're out and about and so on and so forth. I oddly enough do have some old Samsung earbuds from like 2018, 2019 that work great. I'm not knocking them, they work beautifully. There's no point of me buying new ones when I have those and they actually work pretty good still. So it's like so I'm going back to a company that I actually not only I have to, for your information, I used to work for Samsung, like I said. Though I do use Apple as my main driver now. Now having this device, it's going to change everything. It's changing my perception of things. I'm very comfortable going back and forth between devices. Really, it's like, it's really just a matter of swapping a SIM at the end of the day, or actually just forwarding phone calls over. And making sure I get my text still. I normally have both devices, so not necessarily always on me, but I usually have like a sling that I use. And I'm a bag fanatic, by the way, so I love book bags and sling bags. The one sling bag I do want is the Peak Design. Peak Design. I actually have two bags. The clip. I have straps. They're a great company. I'm off topic, but that's going to be something that I'm going to probably focus on another video when I have more space and I can actually kind of like go through, because I actually just went through, swapping out my everyday bag from Peak Design to Peak Design. That's a story within itself. Anyways, that's pretty much it about my video about my new Samsung Z Flip 4. I've been playing around with actually, changing the, my settings in the front. I plan to do deep dives on this thing because I'm going to be keeping it and I'm going to be playing with it, and I think it's going to be my main driver for a while, just because I know it came out last year, but with the advantage of actually the trade-ins and all this other stuff, and I just had to. I traded in a Samsung S10, and literally this phone went half price for me. Basically, they knocked off $500. I'm not telling you that, but go to your carrier, see what promotions they still have, if they still have any. Take full advantage of it if you've been having it on the back of your brain, and if you have the money saved up, don't put yourself in a situation that you're breaking your pocket. But if you had the option to, I'm gonna recommend it. I know there's a lot of people saying, "Oh, I have thoughts about not." I'm saying go for it, because clearly I know my phones, and I know, but I also know what works best for me. So, anyways, this is Jamie. I'm out. I hope this was helpful. Go get yourself a new device if you're going to. This is a good route to go. The Samsung Z Flip 4. Bye, guys.